Good morning. I'm NIRVGORILLA.
What's up, NIRVGORILLA? I'm Targeted Patton, and I have an issue with your video here. So let's just go over it. Let's get right into it.
I kind of jumped out of bed because I was listening to this book in bed, sleeping, and I heard this part of the book, and I jumped out of bed because it reminds me of targeted individuals, people on the internet who claim that they're being stalked by multiple people. And this is a book that was released last year called Malady of the Mind. And he talks about a psychologist who was attacked and killed by a targeted individual. And he himself has been the target of attacks, he said. Here it is. It's very interesting. And it teaches us a lot about the path and treatment of TIs.
This includes psychiatrists and other mental health care providers.
Also,
that's my problem, okay? My problem is you keep trying to associate TIs with schizophrenia and mental illness. Like you're suggesting that every targeted individual has a mental illness or is schizophrenic. Now that theory, I can destroy that theory here, all right? So let's continue.
stay on the line.
I've been the target of threats that Wayne had been killed by one of his patients.
What the fuck?
I froze.
No.
Who is floridly psychotic.
No, he's helping mentally ill people is what he's doing.
Oh, so if you suggest for a TI to take medicine, they want to kill you, is that it? What the fuck is with you people?
See what I'm saying? This is his whole, I mean, come on. This is his whole job, right? Your job is to scare the public into creating the propaganda that to be afraid of targeted individuals, because the whole script, the whole idea is to get society against targeted individuals, right? That's why they're targeted, right? To get them isolated, to get society against them, right? Right? So, I'm sorry, maybe some TIs have a mental illness, but they certainly, the mass majority of them, I say they don't. I say it's just misinformation and propaganda. People like NIRVGORILLA here just tries to associate, right, targeted individuals with mental illness. And it's just not true. There has been several TIs that have went and got brain scans, come back clean. Several TIs that are completely credible and make these claims, but he just won't talk about those ones, right? He won't talk about those ones. Now, I have another big point, though, that destroys his theory, though, so we're going to keep going.
But the story gets worse than this.
We must restrict the liberty of people with mental...
I think we need to know the context. I'm sure somebody asked him why he did it, right? Are you going to include that? Why did he do it? There had to be something.
illnesses, even removing them from the community.
So yeah, that's true.
What's true?
The people in society consider TIs and other people to be a danger to society, and that's true.
No, they don't.
But they might act kind of irrational, thinking that every single one of them is dangerous, and that's not true. But a lot of them are, especially TIs.
Okay.
Mental health advocates.
Here's my point. A lot of people are dangerous, period. Okay? TIs, I would make the claim that they are the most patient group of people you're going to find, right? They practice restraint more than any other person because of what they have to go through, right? Even if it's not real, whatever they're going through in their head, right? What they're going through it's real to them, and they practice restraint, right? So they are the most patient people you're going to meet, okay? They think about every action before they do anything. They don't react to things because they believe that everything is done on purpose to get a reaction. So it just doesn't make sense. His whole narrative doesn't make any sense. But yet he keeps peddling this script, right? That TIs are dangerous, right, to society. So what I want you to do, Nerv, is make a list, right, of how many casualties there have been from targeted individuals. How many people have targeted individuals killed, okay? And then I'd like to also see how many targeted individuals lost their life, you know, mysteriously, or at the hands of the medical industry or the mental health industry or law enforcement, right? You know, I'd like to see the stats on that. And then what I want you to do is I want you to compare that data, right, to say, oh, I don't know, car accidents, right? And then and then take into perspective why are you wasting so much time? It's like a drop in the bucket, right? I mean, what if you just take just one group of people, like, say, women drivers, right? Women drivers. How many people have women drivers killed, right? How many people do you think women drivers have killed? Now, do you think women drivers are more dangerous than targeted individuals then? So should we remove women drivers from society because they killed, I'm just assuming, but I'm going to assume they killed way, way, way more people than, you know, than the casualties from targeted individuals, okay? And don't forget, you know, targeted individuals, you know, their own life is usually lost in the process, but, you know, women, right? This is a fixable problem, right? This is not something that is still an unknown, right? That people are on the fence about. Here's a problem. We know what the problem is. The data's there, right? It's a fixable problem. We know who's doing it, right? Why don't you, you know, waste your time, NIRV, on an actual problem that people should be afraid of, right? People should be afraid of women drivers, right? If they kill, you know, like a much bigger percentage of the population than targeted individuals. Correct? Wouldn't that be correct?
On the other hand, tend to react to physical and psychological factors motivate perpetrators of mass violence that have nothing to do with mental illness.
Right, I like what he says.
On the other, many people are surprised to learn that people with schizophrenia are less violent in general than non-ill persons.
Huh.
See?
People with schizophrenia are less violent in general?
See.
However, if untreated, they are more prone to commit acts of
I don't think this book is helping your case at all, NIRV.
mass violence.
Oh, if untreated, they're more likely to commit acts of mass violence.
Okay, and how exactly do you determine the data on that? Do you just call TI schizophrenic? Just who does that? Who gets the say-so to say that they are or they aren't? You know what I mean? So this is the documented people that are diagnosed with schizophrenia, untreated, right? Correct?
Guess who TIs are? They're untreated schizophrenics.
Wrong. Who
That's
says
why
that?
we see them online as...
Okay, where's that written in? What peer review study is that written, NIRV? Can you help me out there? What accredited, peer-reviewed paper or study does it say that targeted individuals are undiagnosed? Well, you're saying undiagnosed. So right there, it doesn't count for that data. You know, and are you qualified to call targeted individuals schizophrenic? Because I have the, I'm going to give you the finishing move here real soon.
Violent people. And that's why I've been personally involved in this fucking thing with TIs, because I saw the violence increasing with my own eyeballs.
Did you?
We've got video of it, dude. TIs going outside confronting innocent people.
How many people?
You guys are fucking psychotic.
How many TIs did that?
But it's actually gets interesting because I thought there might be some help to TIs, but it turns out the longer that TIs wait, the less likely they'll be able to get treated. Because when you wait and you let your symptoms go more and more and fester and shit, you can't get rid of it with medication as easily. It sucks, but you gotta take care of it fast. You have to do it right away, especially when you start hearing voices or you start having these horrific thoughts of things. You have to get treated right away.
Now, I would argue that the mass majority of targeted individuals are not having horrific thoughts of things, okay? They're just aware that they're being targeted by a group of people and smear campaigns run on them, right? And being followed by certain agencies, you know, certain groups of people, certain industries, right, that are involved. And that's it. It's not like they're having horrific thoughts. I don't have horrific thoughts. I ignore my gang stalkers.
household names in this country, failed policies.
I agree that it's not random acts of violence. A lot of people in society think, wow, he was so great, I would have never guessed. And I've always told people, you can see the red flags building up to the point where they went and killed people. You've always been able to see the red fucking flags. The problem is that society ignores them.
Okay, well,
like they're totally...
You know what else is very predictable and preventable? Deaths by women drivers, right? We can predict that, right? We can see it coming. We see the patterns. We see the data, right? Don't we? So, shouldn't we do something then? Should we just, like, take all women drivers' licenses then, right? That's, I mean, according to your thought process here, according to your scientific process here, that's what we should do, right? Correct?
Fine with somebody going outside yelling at somebody. I don't get it, dude. You have to stop that shit or it gets worse over time.
And failed policies. In genetic episodes he's had,
yep,
the less responsive to treatment he will generally be.
Yep.
The more psychotic episodes.
So if you TIs keep going like this, and you keep going untreated, the less response there will be to treatment. So you need to do it fast. Here's a really interesting story about, I think, a woman named Roma. He's about to tell, and then I'll stop after that. But it's a very interesting story because you can see that there might be some hope, but then again, you can tell that it's not their fault, and you can tell how desperate the parents are.
Even if we are programmed,
you know how I like to deal with problems? Is you identify the root cause of the problem, and you eliminate it, right? Is anybody trying to identify the root cause of the problem? That's how you fix, you solve problems, you find solutions. You cut out the fucking problem, right? No, they just want to throw medication at it, right? And then, of course, then it's just a grenade with a pin in it, But if you take the pin out at any point, then they just get, stop it, Lola, right? My dog does this when I start making sense. But if you take the pin out of the grenade, at some point that pin's going to get rusty, it's going to come out. So you're just a ticking time bomb, right? That's not the problem. Why don't we look for solutions, actual solutions, not band-aids, right?
Discussed earlier is geared toward those, even someone with multiple relapse.
Did you hear that? That depresses me.
I heard my dog.
Schizophrenics or TIs basically need to be treated for life.
You see that?
It's like they're babies.
Every time he says schizophrenic, he says schizophrenics or TIs, right? None of these papers say anything about targeted individuals, right? That's just NIRVGORILLA does that. That's it, just Nerve. And he said it himself. He's just a big dumb chimp. So he's not qualified, right?
God, that's such a burden on society, dude.
Such a burden.
If they would only fucking got help early on, they probably would be functioning members of society these days. But they fucking just waited, dude. And society just kind of puts up with it. Yeah, they just, we can't force people to take medication. And when we do that, we're actually harming the person. That's fucking crazy, dude. So it's like lifetime care? These guys need lifetime care? Schizophrenia is that fucking bad?
And hospitalizations.
No, you need lifetime care because it's not a solution. You know what's crazy? If you're stupid enough to actually believe any of the bullshit that NIRVGORILLA is spewing, right? That's what is crazy, right? That if there's actually stupid people that are like, yeah, he's right, yeah, yeah, we need to rise up and get the mob, get the mob out with the torches and pitchforks, right? And come after TIs, right? Come after targeted individuals, people that are claiming that they're already targeted, right? Let's all go chase them down then, right? That's a solution, right? I mean, tell me that sounds retarded, right? People that are already claiming to be targeted, right? You want to fuck with them, right? Does that make any sense? Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. That's like taking women drivers and saying, well, you guys are such bad drivers and you kill so many people. Why don't you guys drive twice as fast? Drive twice as fast. Stop it, Lola. drive twice as fast, right? Maybe that'll fix the problem because you'll get better at driving, right?
Can live a meaningful life, provided he or she has coordinated support and a stable living environment. I have witnessed firsthand the truth of this, most notably in a former patient of mine named Rona, who has been part of my life for more than 30 years. Rona Gottfried is an only child, born in 1962 in New York City to a middle-class Jewish couple whose forebears had fled persecution in Eastern Europe. Her parents, Henry and Claire, had both grown up poor during the Depression and knew the meaning of hard work and the value of $1. By the early 1960s, they had formed their own company. They made posters for Broadway plays and feature films, which adorned billboards and the sides of buses. They had found their niche among the corporate behemoths of the rough-and-tumble advertising industry, and life was good. The only thing lacking was children. Henry and Claire were still of modest enough means when Rona was born, but she wanted for nothing. She went to private schools, attended birthday parties and bar and bat mitzvahs, and was pampered by her parents.
Wow, so she had a decent life by the sounds of it. So what could have gone wrong? Schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia.
Popular and intelligent. Here that the first...
Or she just had some fucking crazy psychotic fucking sociopath like Nerve Gorilla in her life.
symptoms of schizophrenia appear. Responded,
Sounds to me like medication is not the solution then, isn't it? Just, I mean, call me crazy, but that doesn't seem like you hear too many success stories with medication, right? It's just like I said, it's a Band-Aid. So, I mean, this isn't benefiting you very much, this book, Nerve.
hardly had any effect on her symptoms.
Doctors actually give a crap. They want to do better and they want to help patients.
But they're not.
Medication is not the devil, you guys. You have to fucking take it.
You don't.
Otherwise, you're screwed. Your brain sounds like you've got no control over it.
Right.
The brain is just kind of off doing its own thing, distracting you from advancing in life. That would fucking suck.
Did good for Rona,
Distracting
didn't it?
you from having any fun, any hobbies, because you got these horrible fucking thoughts.
See, if you just throw a bunch of shit at a problem, you know, you're adding more problems. You're creating more problems. You have to cut the problem out, right? The root of the problem to solve it. So you heard him say she developed a new set of symptoms, right? And isn't it possible that she was being targeted and they just stopped targeting her once she started taking the medication they wanted her to take? Why isn't that possible? Is that so far-fetched, right? So right there, you're giving her new problems.
Defect syndrome caused by the drug. We lowered her dose and added an antidepressant medication to treat the OCD.
Let's add another one.
Considerable improvement, Rona's ability to function on her own was still limited.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
All this treatment already.
Yeah.
Still, the ability to function on your own is, it seems like not possible. Same thing with TIs.
I know, they keep giving her all this medication.
They don't seem to be able to function on their own. And they think that's fucking normal. It isn't.
TIs.
You guys need to get help.
Be able to simply pick up her life where she...
Okay, I need to stress again. This guy in the book is talking about schizophrenics. Nerve's talking about TIs. See what I mean? Two totally different things. Nerve is just trying to use the propaganda to put it in everybody's head, to program everybody that TIs are schizophrenic, and it's just not true.
God, that's crazy. They have to be trained to have basic social skills.
Schizophrenics, yeah.
Like, does that just goes out the window or what? That's fucking weird to me. I mean, schizophrenia would fucking blow.
They made her a zombie,
and they
with
don't
the
even
medication.
listen. Like, I've told them so many fucking useful tips and pointers. They just don't.
It wasn't the schizophrenia that caused her to have to relearn shit. It was the medication they put her on. They made her a zombie.
Well, listen, it's like a waste of time.
It is.
But they have to go get treatment because obviously talking doesn't work for them.
Someone suffers a stroke or a spinal cord injury. After corrective treatment, he or she requires care in a residential rehabilitation facility. The equivalent for people recovering.
Did you hear that? That's a doctor saying that.
Yeah,
Next to clozapine, That farm was the best thing that happened to Rona.
Right, which is not medication.
So that's a treatment center by the sound of it.
Not medication, the activities in the environment.
So he values medication because he sees the effects of actual patients. He sees them getting better. But TIs are scared to death of doctors. They're scared to death of medicine. They think it's all out to harm them, yet it shows time and time again, it actually improves lives, makes people better.
Actually, I would beg to differ. You take all the data of everybody that takes a pill, right? What happens? They get older. Do they get to stop taking the pill? No, they get 2 or 3 more to take the next year, and 2 or 3 more to take the next year, right? Till eventually, it's a slow decline turns into a swifter decline, and then they just die one day, right? So once you start taking pills, it turns into, you know, a few pills, and then a handful of pills, and then you're taking, you know, a giant handful of pills 3 times a day, and it's not solving the problem. So I think you're grossly mistaken when you say that medicine, right? That modern medicine, like is a medication, is the, you know, the solution to very many illnesses at all. Like, medication is not designed to cure illnesses. Let's face it, pharmaceutical companies wouldn't make very much money, would they, if they solved your illnesses, if they cured you. Medications are designed to keep you on them, to make you dependent of them, right? And then a lot of them, it looks like to me, according to Rona's story, it seems like that medication led to another medication, until she had all new symptoms and suffered from all kinds of other debilitating symptoms. And then in the end, at the end of the day, what was the solution, right? Her environment. Her activity in her environment, right? Not medication. When she stopped taking medication and she changed her environment and her activity, she probably couldn't get harassed and stalked harassed on the farm. Stop it, Lola. On the farm, right? She couldn't because she was in a treatment center.
Not worse. You're worse off when you let your symptoms keep going. And it's, like I said, it's the disease. It damages your brain. Point of no return.
Scare hospital outside.
I haven't seen any TIs that are point of no return. Can you point some out? Lola, stop it. Can you point some out?
Did you hear that? She went from having to be taken care of 24/7 to living in an apartment with some random person, I don't know, roommate.
Yeah.
On her own.
Yeah, without medication.
Are you telling me that's not a fucking improvement? It's what medication does.
No, it wasn't
10 years
medication.
later, in 2004.
Did you hear that? What the fuck?
Weird, right?
A patient of his, the parents of the patient of his, are naming the doctor as the guardian.
It's kind of weird.
In their will. What?
In the event of their death, agreed to their request.
He agreed.
At the time, Claire and him.
You hear that? A doctor agreed to be the guardian of a patient whose parents were probably close to death. That's what yeah, let's be scared of doctors. That's a fucking nice thing to do. I mean, I would never do anything like that. But he agreed to it.
What do you mean he's getting paid?
To help a patient in that way.
He's getting
That's
paid.
Crazy. You fucking schizophrenics, you're such assholes. You don't even understand humans.
Active and healthy.
Here's another thing I want to point out. NIRV always says that TIs refuse to go to the doctor. That's not true either. That's not even true at all. TIs go to the doctor all the time. I go to the doctor once a month, right? Like, my kids go to the doctor. I know other TIs absolutely go to the doctor. I know TIs that got their brains scanned, and guess what? They have regular brains, no gray matter, right? They have regular brains, healthy brains, right? So what do you make of that, NIRV? What do you make of that?
Oh, I think it's time to give it a shot, TIs. Don't be violent. Don't put up with these voices in your head if you hear them. Don't think that everybody's after you. Gang stalking is not fucking happening. I'm sorry. It's your brain. Your brain is fucked up.
Yep.
You need to get treatment because the longer you wait, the worse it becomes. Your symptoms get worse.
Okay,
you don't get better on your own generally.
Listen,
that's all.
I'm willing to say that it's in TI's brains. If the FBI is willing to disclose the list, right, all of their lists of citizens that they have on the terrorist watch list, right, the over 2 million some, right, 2 or 3 million people in the country that are on the terrorist watch list. Sorry, that doesn't add up to me. That doesn't seem like we have 3 million fucking people that should be on the terrorist watch list, right? So they won't disclose it though, right? They won't disclose it. Why is that, right? You can do a FOIA request, but they won't tell me if I'm on a target, if I'm on a federal watch list. That's the problem, okay? That's a problem. I'm willing to say it's mental illness if they're willing to speak on it too. They need to join the conversation, right? Because we all claim that it's agencies and it's groups of people following us, right? And there's clearly organization to it, and so there has to be, you know, a government hand in it if it's organized, if what we're saying is true. So all we got to do is go to the feds, right, and get them to be transparent. That'll answer the question, right? That'll solve the whole mystery, right? The whole kit and cadoodle. That'll solve it all right here and now, right? You don't have to try to experiment with medication, right? Because what if TIs are right, right? And the medical industry's wrong? Because what have we seen from pharmaceutical and medical industries time and time again, right? That you see the stories all the time. Why do you think they have the Office of Internal General, the Office of is it the Internal General, whatever it is? But they have to have whole agencies like set up and committees set up to investigate and to enforce, you know, the punishments for corrupt doctors, right? And corrupt in the medicine and the pharmaceutical industry, because they're corrupt and they're greedy, and they absolutely do nefarious, deceptive tactics to people for money. Okay? Let's not deny that. That's a fact. That happens quite a bit. And when you know, like, the pharmaceutical industry is like the #1 industry in the planet, and they stood to lose a lot of money with the whole opiate deal, didn't they? They lost a lot of money there. They got to make up for that opiate money, don't they? They got a big chunk of it back with the vaccines, right? With the COVID vaccines, but let's face it, they always have to break the record, the previous year's record for profits, don't they? They can't go backwards. They have to make more profits every year, because that's how it goes, right? Because they're greedy fuckers. So don't you see that as a problem, Nerve? Don't you see that as a problem? I do. Personally, I think it's a problem. And then I'll use my finishing move on you here in a second.
All I'm saying.
Are you done? Okay, so here's my finishing move, right? Oops. Okay.
Good.
Now, this is my finishing move, Nerve, right? You say, you know, it gets worse, and if it's untreated, right? You say target individuals are dangerous, right? You'll try to lump them with schizophrenia and everything else. Okay, I want you to explain this. I don't get gang stalked anymore, Nerve. They don't follow me around anymore. How do you explain that? I didn't take any medication. I didn't get diagnosed, right? I don't believe that I have schizophrenia. I don't believe that it's in my head. I believe that the people following me around and targeting me, right, and making up lies about me and everything else just stopped. Well, they didn't stop the lies necessarily. They definitely backed off, but they don't follow me around. I haven't had anybody that I could honestly say was following me or targeting me in like at least a week or two here, like a couple weeks. Nothing. It's very strange. Like a couple weeks since I made the video, you know, where I was joking around and I said, look, I'm cured, right? I'm cured. So you said that, you know, Leanne was the one that, you know, she got out of it because she just stopped believing that it was real, right? She just stopped believing it was real, and it stopped. What do you know, right? Well, I'm making the claim that she's a perp, and it's just another fucking script to try to sell your propaganda. But how do you explain my situation, Nerv? How do you explain that? Can you explain that for me? And then while you're working on that, can you get the statistics for the casualties, right? The deaths and everything from targeted individuals, right? And then you could also get the deaths on like malpractice deaths, right? You could say that doctors are more dangerous than TIs if they kill more people than TIs kill, couldn't you? Couldn't you make that argument that we should be afraid of doctors? We should take them out of society if they kill more people than TIs do. Like, your argument is totally fucking bullshit, okay? And you should focus more of your time on an actual problem that's solvable. Like, use your skills, you know, your skills in technology and computers to try to solve the problem, the big problem we have of casualties from car crashes, mainly from like women drivers, right? I don't know what the stats are. I'm just guessing, but you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's probably alarmingly high percentage compared to, you know, the stats of what you're fucking preaching there, the song you're singing, you know, the drum you're beating. So I look forward to your response, Nerv, because I can't come on and chat on your channel, so I refuse to come on and voice on your channel because you let other people chat, but I can't chat. So why would I come on your voice? So I'm going to make this video, and I'll be waiting for your explanation, you know, because, you know, you worked all this out, you know, and you're going back to the good cop thing here. You go good cop, bad cop, right? You're going back to good cop now. But like I said, everything you just said in that argument, I destroyed it. I would make the claim that I destroyed your argument completely. Okay? So what say you? I'll be waiting. Be good or be good at it. Peace out.